there's the stuff that you don't want the kids anywhere near when it goes off, and there's the stuff that, you know, sparkles, sparklers, and stuff like that. Anyway, I just want to say thanks for treating us right out there.
And happy 4th of July to everybody. And hey, just by the way, FYI, I do want, you know, I mean, it almost sounds that kind of facetious if I have to say this, but I can tell you, both of us are former law enforcement officers, and I can tell you, just if you're wondering, and I'm not being facetious right now, it is against the law. It is a criminal offense to go out and fire a firearm up in the air. The bullet does go somewhere. Shotgun pellets do go. They don't disappear in the atmosphere. They do come back
Well,
down.
Joe, you just ruined half the fun for the people in Russell County and Lee County tonight. You know, or tomorrow night.
Well, sorry about that on that, but you know, there's a lot of people that do the
Now,
hoot
as long as you're not shooting it up in the air, if you're shooting it like at something like a tree or something, that's okay.
Knock yourself out. as long as it's not a, you know, as long as what I would do, my advice on that one is if you're shooting a tree, when you finish shooting, put a knife or something down by the tree so that you can say, hey, the tree had a knife. I would,
you
know,
throw a screwdriver down
or something like that. You know, that's like I wore the tree to leave me alone, and I saw a knife and I had no choice.
Now I see we've got that neighborhood watcher extraordinaire from out in Salem and Crawford area, Miss Benita, has joined us.
Miss Benita.
Yes.
Hello, Miss Benita.
Rumor has it that she's been speeding around the Russell County area in a new pickup truck. I don't know if that's true or not, but there is a rumor going around out there.
Not in Russell County. Not rumors in Russell County.
Oh,
rumors in Russell County. Holy cow! Could that be?
Yeah.
That's almost like rumors in Muskogee County.
Miss Benita, just stay out of Woody Acres now. Stay out of Woody Acres.
Listen, if you look up the word rumor in the dictionary, it says see Chattahoochee Valley area, and it says subsection Muskogee County, Russell, Lee, Harris. Rumor on that. We put the rur and the mur and rumor.
Yeah, still waiting for Miss Stacy to call in. I guess she's trying to get her stage voice or something.
Yeah,
but, we want to hear about all the calls last night. I understand there was at least one drug dealer taken off the street with a substantial number of drugs.
That's kind of an interesting thing. I'm actually kind of curious about that. Have you wondered what Stacy sounds like? We can see her picture on her Facebook, but what does she sound like? Maybe if she had like a really high pitched voice or something like that.
Well, normally I just hear the swoosh as she flies over my house at night.
What if she came in and she said like, "Good afternoon, how are you all on Facebook?"
I think that's pretty close.
Oh, Stacy. Yeah, Stacy. Darn, I'm with you. All right, here. All you gotta do is put here. Do you want me to punch him here and just say punch Eric, and I'll get him on that one, on that. And he's got his you know what? When I saw you in that shirt, the last time I saw somebody in that shirt was what was that movie? The guy from Russia that was the comedy here, the really disgusting one, Borat. That he wore that shirt when he was singing.
Yeah, I can't do those movies.
Yeah,
I can't watch it.
It was very inappropriate. Definitely not a movie, a family movie. On that.
I mean, I'm sure he's pretty good. I guess some people find him funny, but he's kind of in the
raunchy.
Well, I don't know, but he kind of falls into the category with where I'm putting Jim Carrey and some of these other has-been actors that have tried to resurrect their careers by getting on TV and talking about politics and stuff. You know?
I'm just glad to see that there's some quality program family TV like this week, like you and I last night. Yeah. There was the Planet of the Apes marathon.
Oh yeah, is there anybody else watching IFC TV on the 4th of July alternate facts? You know, most people don't know.
I was fascinated by that.
That George Washington rode into the Battle of
on a
Velociraptor.
Yeah. On that. And
that RoboCop was actually there and turned the tide. That guerrilla warfare was taught to the American Revolutionary soldiers
by guerrillas.
Yeah.
Isn't it? These are some fascinating trivia.
Now I know there's some people out there. What in the HE double hockey sticks are they talking about? Anyway, it's a takeoff on some of the movies that there's like a marathon that was going on yesterday. I don't know if it's still going on, but Planet of the Apes, all the dinosaur movies, RoboCop, and some other action movies are being shown, and they've tied it into the American Revolution, where some of these characters actually helped out. So it's kind of funny if you have a sense of humor. If not, it is what it is. But the George Washington riding the Velociraptor is pretty funny. So anyway, that's over on IFC TV, or IFC, the IFC channel, which is up there like 100, 107 or something. But so what else is going on out there, folks? Is there anything that we've missed in the last 24, 48 hours this last week that anybody wants to talk about?
I think several of us have missed. They've missed us in gunfire. They haven't hit any of us, but on that,
Well, it seems like it's becoming a nightly. It seems with the last week's arrest, or this past week's arrest, taking one or two people, three people off the street, at least one, that the Circle K's and the Waffle Houses and some of the other gas stations are kind of able to conduct business now without being robbed. I'm sure that somebody's going to step up and take their spot or whatever. But just a word on this. I'm just going to hit this real quick. I know we're in the 4th of July season and stuff, but no matter what area of Columbus you live in, if you're allowing the criminals and the gangbangers and the thugs to hang out in your areas and stuff, then you're going to have to put up with this kind of stuff. You're going to have to worry about going into a Circle K and whether it's going to be robbed or not, whether you're in there or not, whether you're at the gas pump and somebody's going to try and come up and carjack you. So it doesn't matter what side of the river you're on. You need to start talking to your neighbors about cleaning up these areas and getting citizens together. Just like we're talking here right now, and we've got a page and stuff. It's no different than what we're talking about. Or you flip over here to Columbus, this new Columbus page. I'm going to give them a shout out. It's called the Columbus, Georgia Concerned Citizens page. And they're hitting a lot of the politics and stuff, talking about the most recent thing that I saw was talking about the mayor and some of the city council members not listening to the citizens about what they're concerned about. So guess what? There's an election coming up next year. Think about who you're going to vote for. And that's on both sides of the river, okay? You don't have to go with the old, well, he's always been in office, for years and years and years, and he's the only one, blah, blah, blah. No, somebody else can step up and run. And that's what some people need to do on both sides of the river. You need to look. If you're not happy with the way things are and you think you can do a better job, then get out there and run. Hey, at the very least, make the other guy spend some money on their campaign. Take that money out of their pocket by making, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Just go run. That means that some of these people on both sides of the river are going to have to pay big bucks to stick their big faces up on all them billboards. It's coming. You're going to see it. Billboards with their big faces on there telling them, oh, I'm the guy to vote for. I'm the guy to vote for. Well, you need to look at their records and see, just because they have their face on a billboard, that doesn't mean that they're the best candidate or the candidate at all. Somebody needs to run. So think about that. Joe, are you walking on the roof up there? What was that? Anyway. Yeah, the Concerned Citizens page, and they're talking about how the Mayor Tomlinson is the Queen Mother of Columbus is setting the groundwork for her next political campaign by getting on all these liberal talk shows and stuff up around Atlanta or whatever, and telling everybody what a great job she has done in Columbus. And I would have to say, does anybody agree with that? Now, I'm not a voter over here in Columbus. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to know all the facts and everything over here in Columbus. But what do you think out there? Do you think Mayor Tomlinson's taking crime seriously? Do you think that she's done a good job? Now, granted, there are a lot more roundabouts in Columbus now than there have ever been before. And there might be some statistics that have shown that these roundabouts are actually cutting down crime. But I'm not really too 100% sure about that.
What do you mean when you say roundabout?
Those things where you come to the intersection, you don't have a stoplight, you just got kind of drive around in circles.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Have you ever seen Chevy Chase on European Vacation? They get up there like in England or something. They spend the day driving around in circles because you can't get over to the left.
Yes. Now,
Anyway,
now I know what you're talking about.
So that's about really the only accomplishments that I've heard attached to the mayor. You know, these roundabouts. I heard that she didn't want the homeless fed in certain places in Columbus. You know, she wanted to kind of herd them to certain areas, like over there at Second Avenue, which was kind of unchristian in my heart. I mean, if they're hungry and there's these groups that want to go out there and try and feed them, like maybe down at the Riverwalk, and but I guess we just can't have these poor people hanging out with the zip liners and the whitewater rafters and stuff. You know, it's just not good for business.
I actually think there was something a lot more cynical to that than that actually.
I don't know.
I think that they were being herded over to organizations that receive money through grants, and the more people that they assist, if you will, the more money they get.
Well, I kind of had a view on it that it's all well and good if they're down there in the woods off of the Riverwalk going north up towards the bypass, up there off J.R. Island. They can be up in the woods in their little camps and stuff, as nobody can see them up there. But if they start coming down the Riverwalk, and they can be seen down and hanging out on Broad Street or something, we just can't have that. Get some money together and build them a facility or something up there along 2nd Avenue or somewhere down there. Put a dormitory up or something, and find a way to fund it with grant money or something and help some of these people out. If there's, some of them may not want help, some of them might not have mental problems or something. But let's not just shuffle them off to Buffalo and just have them living out in the woods and stuff. And that's just my thought on it. But anyway, the original thought was, my thought is if you don't think she's doing a good job or she's doing a good job, then tell your family, friends, and neighbors in the rest of the state of Georgia, up there around Atlanta, Stone Mountain, Fulton County, whatever, all these little counties, around Atlanta and stuff, and tell them the real deal, that things are not all peachy keen down here in Columbus, Georgia. Okay, we got some problems, and I'm sure some of those city workers from last week would love to tell people what their opinion of the mayor is, and having their paychecks yanked out of their hands or whatever, and not being paid in a timely manner so that they can pay their bills. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The whole thing is about, playing with the money so that the city can save money, but who's got to pay? The city workers have got to be the one to take the brunt of it, and it shouldn't be that way. But again, it comes back to what I've always said. You get what you put up with. You validate what you tolerate. And if you don't speak out, you don't hold people accountable, then it's just going to happen again. And while you may not be in the crosshairs this time, believe me, your time's coming. And don't be upset and want everybody to jump up and fight your cause when you weren't there for anybody else. So, anyway.
One thing that I'm going to bring up too that I just want to make an issue on is that I want to invite people. There's been a lot of controversy going on the national level about these, as they're called, these quote police officers.
Miss Pat, somebody's saying that we're not going out over Facebook now. We're frozen.
I think they might want to go back in and come back out.
No, it's me too.
We are on Facebook Live.
We did have a problem.
We did have one, but it's been fixed.
Okay.
Tell me, yeah, just see, you can hear it right here. See, we're live right now.
Oh, maybe. All right.
On that, so we had sometimes what happens on and it's not us on Facebook Live. Sometimes like that is that Facebook has the 2 billion people that are on Facebook. There'll be a brief flutter, and you go back and come back in.
Okay.
But it's being recorded. But we are on live now. You keep going in and out. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, I see that Miss Benita's come back. There's Joe, and then there's Aaron, and I guess I just came back. So we're sorry. We have a small staff, so we missed that one.
Sorry about that, but we are aware if he looks good. Miss Pat, if you might want to put your headset in
So
on your phone so you can.
I don't know if anybody
check
missed
that.
any of this or stuff, but we were talking about things going on in Columbus, and the mayor telling everybody how
If you
you
would
know,
stay on the show, please.
she's been doing such a great job and telling everybody enjoy it. You
I don't know.
she's
I don't know anybody saying she's been doing a great job. Who's been saying that?
I think that's just her.
I don't even know if she agrees with herself.
But I think that just because you get on some liberal talk shows or something up around Atlanta, that just doesn't. That's not going to fool the people.
One thing I was just about to bring about is I was going to talk about on a national level. There's been in the last 6 months, there's been 2 or 3 cases that have come to light where police officer involved shootings of African Americans, and there have been several of them were shot by African Americans. That there was no conviction, so therefore these people have been rioting and doing these kind of things. But I want to make sure that other people understand that in all of these cases, the juries have been at least half, if not more than half, African American. In 3 of the 4 cases, the judges were African American, and in 2 of the cases, the district attorneys were African American. So I've got news for you. If you want to live in this country, in the United States of America, you're going to have to accept our legal system. And is it perfect? No. But the law says that you're brought up before a jury of your peers. And if the jury says, I'm sorry, we no matter how good the evidence is, or we're not going to convict this person, there cannot be a conviction. That's the law, and that's just too bad. And I don't like that sometimes. There's been cases. Believe me, I know Eric probably seen them too in law enforcement. Out there on Facebook, somebody let us know too. Type in real quick and make sure we're okay on Facebook right now, if you would out there. Give us a quick note on the Facebook. Write a comment if you would, please. I was just starting to watch. What is this for? Hello, Samantha. Samantha, this is called The Watch. We are connected with Eric Whitson's page, The Watch, which is a neighborhood watch organization, and we talk about community activism and crime and things that are going on in the community. Okay on my end. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Julie. Everything's going good on that. And we do have a call line, 706-940-0541. The Watch, which is founded, this is the founder, the head honcho, has about, 14,000 members in it?
14,000. I think we're on the way to 15,000.
So
really, all we need is for everybody to go out that joins.
This is your opportunity.
Your local friends about the page and tell them how to get there.
That we are coming together in the Chattahoochee Valley to say we've had enough. And we're telling these politicians, we're telling the law enforcement community, the court systems, that we do not accept the way business is being done. And it's just, I don't think Eric, I think is it a pretty accurate statement? Santa Stacy could probably chime in on this. I don't think that a day goes by that we don't have some sort of shooting incidents in Columbus or in Phoenix City, one or both.
I would say I'd have to give it 75, 25, maybe 65, 25, or 65, whatever it is, 45. No, that's not right. 60, 60 40, whatever. That higher math is killing me. That because of the population and stuff, Columbus has more crime than we do over here on our side of the river. But, I mean, if you wanted to, if you take it like Phoenix City alone, but then, if you said Phoenix City, Opelika, Auburn, it'd probably even out a little bit more. But I think most people would agree that just Columbus seems to be getting more violent and more crime-ridden, and I don't know what's the cause.
Well, I can tell you it doesn't seem. I'm 55 years old. I've been here all my life. It has been.
But
and
this thing of saying, keep pointing to statistics and saying it's not bad, and that's going to fix the problem, is not going to fix the problem. So if you're not going to work towards a solution, if you're not going to at least take a stand against it, then, nothing's going to get done.
706-940-0541. Somebody give us a call. You can call in. You're going to be talking to Miss Pat first, and you can make a comment to her. You don't have to get on and be heard or identified if you don't want. But if you want to, we'll put you on, and everybody can hear your voice. You don't have to give your name. If you have a concern, I don't know. Do you all? Are we making this up? Is the crime out of control? I can tell you this. That this is not, but what I'm about to say is not my. It's not my opinion. This is a fact that we're being hoodwinked. There's a shell game going on, and I can prove that. I don't have any problem standing up and talking to the mayor or the council in Muskogee County at all, because you're being told half truths, and in my mind, half truth is a lie. And when people come up and say, "Well, our crime in 2015 or 2016 was lower than it was two or 3 years ago," that's not true. Let me tell you about what first of all, give you a little bit of factual information on that. Is where you hear these things from. There's what's called the Uniform Crime Report, the UCR. The Uniform Crime Report is put out by the Federal Bureau of Investigation every year. So this year, it's just like how your taxes won't come out until next year. Now, the Uniform Crime Report is supposed to, in theory, it's supposed to document every crime, misdemeanor, all the way up to, felony murder, in every city in the United States of America, no matter how big or how small that they are. Now, let me tell you a couple things that a lot of people don't know about the UCR. When people quote, according to the Uniform Crime Report, first of all, the reporting to the Uniform Crime Report, the FBI has to get the statistics from the individual agencies. It is not mandatory. It is voluntary, so not all do. That's number one. It is not a mandatory thing that agencies have to do. Number two, here's a kicker. Okay, is that in the Uniform Crime Report they only count cleared crimes. So what that means is that in Phoenix City or in Columbus or Nakipu or Salem or wherever crimes are being committed, let's say, for instance, in the city of Columbus in 2016, there were 400 reports where the police were called to, where 400 houses were broken into. Okay, either through home invasion or burglary, whatever you want to call it. Okay, well, those 400 houses that were broken into, or businesses, at that time, at the end of the year, only the cases that were cleared by the Columbus Police Department, not dropped or dismissed, but cleared. And by cleared, I mean is they found the perpetrators were arrested, and a case was made against those people. Those are the only ones that are counted. Therefore, in a year, if there were 400 burglaries and only 50 cases were cleared, the UCR reports that there were 50 burglaries in Columbus, not 400.
What about juvenile crime statistics?
That's the number 3 thing. And this is probably the most significant thing. They do not include crimes committed by juveniles. Now, we're not talking about the differences in penalties and stuff like that. If a juvenile under the age of 17 goes out and does an armed robbery, if a juvenile goes out and picks up breaks into a house, steals something, rapes somebody, shoots somebody, those are still crimes. Okay, it's just who committed it. The Uniform Crime Report does not go into who committed the crimes. It goes into it's supposed to be the number of crimes. I can tell you that when the mayor came out in 2015 and stuff and said that our crime was lower in 2015 than it was in 2012, she had not added the over 2,500 felony crimes that had been committed by juveniles during that year. Now, if you add right now, and because our juvenile crime is off the charts, I'm in juvenile mediation in the Chattahoochee circuit, and juvenile crime is off the charts. If you add the crimes, not who did them, but the crimes committed by juveniles, drug crime, all these things, gang-related activities, all these things on there, we are off the charts. So you're not getting a real picture. You're getting a fantasized, sanitized report where they're saying like, oh, well, according to the statutes of the crime report, yes, I'm accurately processing and talking about the crimes themselves, but they're not.
Well, we had a shooting, police-involved shooting, probably pretty close to a month ago, downtown, broad daylight, Phoenix City, down there at 14th Street, and it was turned over to the Alabama, or ALEA, or whatever, but Alabama State Police to investigate, and yet to hear anything back. Is anybody in Phoenix City even remotely curious as to what the investigation showed? Was it handled properly? Was it not handled properly?
Was there 12 people shot at a party?
I'm not talking about the 12 people.
That's another one, too.
That kind of just faded away. Nobody's worried about it.
Did you know that made national news? It made Fox News.
Right.
It made Fox News, but it didn't make our local news.
This was the one that came from the I can't remember what the guy's name. I'm going to ruin this. Joe's Country Cooking, or Jim's Country Cooking, or Mike's Country Cooking, or something. Came from a back street. There was some, I don't know, bunch of shots fired into the back of the car. The car ended up coming to a stop over 13th or 14th Street right there. Main thoroughfare, middle of the day. And there's been absolutely no more media questions, no more statements, no more public releases, and how long do you have to wait for an official investigation? I mean, what exactly could be taking so long?
Well,
for them to come back and say, this is all hunky dory, or is it they just don't want to talk about it anymore?
Well, and I think we, in all fairness, so that we're fair on all sides, I do want people to understand out there that it is legal and it is the procedure that if a case is currently under investigation, the investigators do not have to. They have the choice to give updates. They give a choice. They have it to make statements, but they do not have to. They do not have to share evidence. They don't have to share anything if it is an open investigation.
What could possibly still be investigated?
Well, what the issue with that is why they don't talk about it is that, and this is a very valid point, is that often, and I've done this myself in investigations, is that when, especially if it's a major crime, in that particular crime, what a good investigator does is document things and theories and suspects and elements of the crime, and they deliberately, I have deliberately myself, not shared that with the public while the case is open, simply because when I get a valid or somebody that I think is a very valid suspect, I can use those things to see if this would, for instance, if I was at a scene and there were, it was a 9mm Beretta 92 pistol that was shot 4 times on that was recovered at the scene. What I'll tend to say is it was a pistol that was recovered at the scene on that, or there was a firearm recovered at the scene. That way, when I'm sitting down talking to a potential suspect, and I'm trying to ascertain, is this really the suspect? When I say something to the suspect to the sense of like, so where did you get the Beretta?
Joe, in this case, the case is pretty cut and dry. The suspect is dead. The car was recovered at the scene. I'm sure an autopsy was done. Witnesses were, the police officer was probably interviewed already. Videotape was looked at. I just don't know what would be taken over a month to get back unless...
Well, now you did bring up a great point. I can answer that. Is that both in the state of Alabama and in Georgia, the law stipulates that when there are inquiries made from one group to the other, whether it be the defense talking to the prosecution talking to defense, talking to the crime lab, talking to the officers, talking to anybody. There is a 30-day window in between that. So in other words, if I write to the Alabama Crime Lab and say, what are the results in this? They have a minimum of 30 days. Now, they can actually apply for
So you're saying that the family of the deceased, the suspect, wants any answers or they make any, ask any questions, that they have to wait at least 30 days to get a reply back?
Well, the people that they are requesting the information from have 30 days. Now, that has been decided by the legislature of Alabama and Georgia. That is not the law enforcement department.
Personally, I think there's something wrong with that.
Okay.
But, you know, if everything's on the up and up, the citizens of an area should be able to get information back in a more timely manner and not have to wait and guess and speculate. And see, I think that leads to hard feelings in the community.
And I understand that. And I understand that.
There should be, what's that word that we're always hearing from the Georgia? Transparency. We should have more transparency.
Julie asked a question here. Why weren't any charges brought up on the people taunting the officers in the videos that surfaced after that shooting? Julie, speaking as a cop of 13 years, one thing that we have to recognize that unfortunately under the First Amendment of the Constitution, and I don't like this. I am not a liberal, everybody. I'm a right-wing, hardcore conservative, but under the Constitution, and this is something we have to accept about it, is that people, they have the right to free speech, and they can call me names. I don't particularly like this hate crime stuff that's come out because it's got to be. I think that you're getting some contradiction, not because I believe in hate crime, but I'm saying that you can't be a little bit pregnant. You can't come out and stuff and say, Joe, you're a big fat slob white guy, and if I say you're a big fat slob purple guy, then I'm committing a hate crime because I mentioned your race. But on that, you short of violating statute, in other words, saying I'm going to Eric, I'm going to shoot you or hurt you because you are purple, you're blue, being tactful now on that. Then there's some things that have been an element on that. But free speech is a very protected right in America. Now,
well, it needs to be more protected because apparently some people don't like it. If
you're
you're out there talking on social media, some people get their feelings hurt.
Absolutely. Heather says we should pay our military, law enforcement, and first responders a substantial amount because they are the ones putting their life on the line, even for these scumbags that rob, kill, and destroy. Let's see, I'll read the whole thing here. That rob and destroy. The mayor gets to go on vacations, get bonuses, and get off on a holiday. She gets to enjoy her family. We don't get luxury. Instead, I personally have had to hit my knees and pray daily. Once my husband comes and closes the door, and then we walk through it at the end of his shift. Even though at the end of his shift, even our children throughout the day will come and ask me, "Mommy, do you think Daddy is okay?" My heart goes out to you on that. This is a very real thing. I agree. One of the things that's up before both the Georgia and the Alabama legislature right now, which I'm in full support of, is allowing first responders, ambulances, and firemen to be able to be armed. I used to feel very, very, very. I used to feel bad for the first responders because often they were the ones exactly that got to these criminal scenes, these crime scenes, before we even got there, and they had no weapons. Be careful, Miss Pat, please. They had no weapons whatsoever, and they were brought into harm's way. I would get the calls very often. If you might want to just pull that window up, I got the calls very often, armed, and was nervous of where I was. They don't get enough money. I always tell people, hey, you know what? The people that are detractors of that, and I think you agree with this, Eric, I always tell them, I say, you go out, tell you what, you go out one Friday or Saturday night, just one, and go out on a ride along with an officer, and then you tell me how much you think they should get paid.
Yeah. Or
You
go spend a couple days with a guy in the military, like
Yeah.
U.S. Army Ranger or paratrooper, or even a mechanized guy, and do what they do. You used to have that recruiting video, that said, I do more before 9 o'clock every morning than you do all day, and that's pretty
Absolutely.
much much true.
Pretty accurate.
When your day starts at and I don't know how many people realize this, but in neighborhoods and stuff, those people that you hear when the engines start revving up, and you hear these guys going to work at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, that's your military guys heading out to Fort Benning, and their day is just beginning. By the time you wake up, they've already done PT, had breakfast, and on their way to training.
Been up for 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours out training.
Our military ought to get paid somewhere around, pretty close to what professional athletes get paid, and they should have the same type of physical therapy and gyms, and because they're putting the wear and tear on their body. And,
absolutely, and this gets down to another point on that is that we have some, and I'd like to ask Alan just came in. Hello, Alan. I'm starting to understand the founders. They were paying taxes to government that would do nothing for them. One thing about America, no matter the race and gender, if we purchase a product, purchase a product, we expect accountability. We will have, when we will have, and where we all to ask for our money back from the government. The products that they are selling are not working. How about that school board? And he put school board as in like being bored. Deliberately made that, and I agree. And let me tell you something that's interesting too about that, Alan. Here in Muscogee County, Eric, one of the biggest misconceptions that there is in Columbus is did you know that the school board, the Muscogee County School Board's budget is 4 times the size of the budget of the city of Columbus? That's right.
Pretty big.
Yeah, we people think that they have the second largest employer in Columbus, second only to, of course, Fort Benning, is the school district.
Well, you think we can get the school district to take on the trash problem? Get the trash picked up?
Well, and it's kind of what Alan said. Here lies the facetious paradoxes that we face in government, because legally in the state of Georgia, the Muscogee County School District and the city of Columbus are 2 separate governmental entities. They have their budgets are not connected. Yeah, it is, because you know what? If you go out and, for instance, a SPLOS, which stands for Special Option Local Sales Tax, which is where a penny is added on to your purchase that goes to that. When we buy that candy bar or whatever we buy it for, and we put an extra penny on there, it continues to go. Alan, I'm not sure if I understand what you said. You said now you're talking about keeping that going. What is your suggestion? Why don't you give us a call if you want? 706-940-0541, 706-940-0541, or just keep writing on your number.
With this school board thing, I don't get to follow it as much as I want to, and I don't claim to, know how all the players are being affected and stuff. And you're always hearing about some of the more vocal people. And I was finding it interesting that they were trying to use some type of bring some type of lawyer in to try and keep some of the school board members from speaking out or providing evidence or something like that. I think that's really, that just to me is un-American. You try to say, well, you can't speak out on your own. You have to speak as a group. I agree. And where was that ever written? Is that written into the bylaws of the Columbus or the Muscogee County School Board? Is that if you're a member, you can't speak out on your own? You can't speak out to your constituents and stuff? I think there's something.
Exactly.
You try and for the people that do these interviews on TV, get these people to come out and say exactly what it is. What's the gentleman's name? I always get his name. Frank Thomas.
Frank
Myers, and Mr. Thomas. Is
John Thomas.
John Thomas. Okay. So apparently they're saying some stuff that's got some people fired up and got some people upset and stuff, and they don't want them speaking out. So they're trying to silence them. Well, I kind of get a feel for that, right? I've got a lady over, that I know about that doesn't like social media, and she's trying to quiet that stuff down. Some other people are trying to kind of help her out behind the scenes and stuff. But make these people come out in the light of day and say what it is that they want to say. If you don't want these school board people talking and speaking out, then come out and say that we don't want them speaking out because we're afraid of what they're going to say. Don't use this, we might lose our accreditations type stuff if they speak out. Well, you know what? If coming out and saying the truth is going to make you lose your accreditation, then maybe you need to lose it.
Well, and one thing too.
But I don't think that's the case.
And I hate to bring this up, but I've got to bring it up to everybody out there. Is the school board meetings are open to the public, the council meetings are open to the public. And I can tell you, because I go to them regularly, very, very few people attend.
Yeah.
And let me
You know why, Joe? You know why?
Why?
Because these meetings are set up so that the people cannot get get a chance to speak out.
Not in Columbus. Not in Columbus. That's not the rule in Columbus. Because I'll tell you how to do it in Columbus. In Columbus, all you have to do to get on the agenda, where your name is on the agenda, you have to be given 5 minutes. That's the rule. 5 minutes is the Friday preceding the council meeting. Council meetings are on Tuesdays. It is by 12 o'clock noon on the Friday preceding the next council meeting. You have to, and you can do it by phone. You can call in to Tiny Washington, who is the clerk of the Columbus City Council, and they cannot deny you. They cannot deny you. You can say, "This is Joe Coley. I live at this address. I want to be on the agenda," and they will ask you what you want to be on the agenda about. You have the right to say. You can say whatever you want. You can say, like, well, I just want to talk about a concern for safety in the community. I want to talk about a financial concern. You don't have to lay it out, and they can't say, okay, well, we'll get back to you on whether or not we're going to let you do it. They will put you on the agenda, and they have to let you speak 5 minutes on that. Same on the school district. The school district has the same thing. They have to let you on the agenda. So, and I've done it many times. The point I'm making,
Joe, I'll be back in just a second.
Okay, sure. The point I'm making on that is that in reality is that I'm just going to say this, is that I think that people have this philosophy where they say, oh, well, my word is not going to do any good, my comments are not going to do any good, therefore, ... I won't go down there. And I can tell you right now, you are wrong. I've gone down there. Let me tell you something. I've gone down there. If you go down there with more than 5 people, they get nervous. I've gone down there with 50 people before, and a good example of that is just recently. I think the last one we had, which was where they were denoting and giving money out for the crime prevention grants, which is a joke. They had a issue. The council was going to change the salary structure for the public works employees, or instead of getting paid biweekly, they're only going to be paid once a month. And this is going to result in a lesser pay for the month. And I think, Ms. Pat, I think it's probably, you can just nod, I think it was probably there were probably 50 or 60 public workers that showed up at that council meeting in uniform. And guess what? Guess what happened? They reconsidered the issue and then came out and said, well, we won't change that right now, and we'll try to figure out something else. We'll keep you on the level you are. Why? Because they're politicians. 2018 is a huge year in America for votes. There's like 200 congressional and senatorial seats coming open. I believe there's 15 governorships that are coming up. And here in council, here in Columbus, we have the mayor's positions coming up. I think we have 3 or 4 council seats that are coming up. And we have 2 or 3 school board seats that are coming up. And right now, I can tell you what, as of today, which is very unusual because this is July preceding an election year, and there has been no one in the city of Columbus. Teresa Thompson, at the end of last year, her last year, that's it, she's gone. She can only serve two terms, okay? So she's what's called a lame duck of that. And in 2018,
Wait a minute.
and those got a quack. She is lamed up on that. See this foot here? It's hurt. This foot is hurt.
Teresa's be flying off to Virginia to Sweetbriar College.
Yes, thank God. And so basically, what I'm saying is that you've got to show up, and you've got to tell people, and the people that do that. I know these people in council, and they're afraid of people that come up there and go to council. What do you think, Mr. Duck?
Aflac. I want to thank someone over there from Government Relations. I think up there around the 17th floor, Government Relations, for providing our prop today.
Yes, it's
nobody that I know really close or anything, but someone over there, really good company to work for. Treat their employees really good, and
absolutely.
The only thing you can say is, Aflac.
Okay,
anyway,
that's about enough of that.
Yeah, I'll probably have one of the Mr. Amos will probably be like off with his head.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's cute. It's cute. Hey, what do you hear? Also, too. Let me ask you a question. I know we're going to get back. They're going to say, "Oh, Joe, you're just beating this old horse to death." But I just wanted to bring out something that I thought was interesting. I was sworn in as a Columbus police officer in January of 1985.
Good.
Which was 32 years ago. And 32 years ago, at that time, we were 105 officers short. And this is 2017, we're 100 officers short. So what is the deal? I don't know. I said this is just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I think that we need to recognize that there is obviously, and I think it's a leadership thing that's broken. And maybe, I tell you what, when we get, I heard that Chief Warren very soon is going to be, this is a rumor, a Muskogee County rumor, but that Chief Warren, he's certainly in retirement age, is going to be retiring soon. I think we need to do a national search. I would like to see somebody as Chief of Police that is not from Columbus. I'd like to see some fresh, objective, non-attached, neutral as much as possible, professionally, with professional qualifications, that's not from here.
Come in and clean house. What do you think?
That's exactly it. Take that broom and clean that house.
Yep. And I think there needs to be some new blood over on the other side of the river too.
There needs to be a lot of cleaning.
We don't have enough time to go into that right now, but
we got quite a bit of time.
Yeah, well.
And I'm only kidding, but no, there needs to be a lot of cleaning. There needs to be some. And it's so typical is that with I guess this is a historical thing that that
Heather says I think both of you should run for mayor.
Hey, if we got the support, we can do it. I'm going to tell you.
So like, what you come in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll take Tuesday, Wednesday, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yeah,
I could do that, I guess.
I'll tell you what.
There'd be some grant money for crime prevention.
Yeah.
I promise you. And if the next mayor comes in, you give me 25 minutes, and I will tell you how to spend some money. You will see a change in some of these neighborhoods, and people will have a say. More interaction with the police department, and it can be done. It can be done on a shoestring budget. It's absolutely ridiculous. For some.
Well, if you look at the crime prevention grants too, they're very
grants. $25,000 for midnight underwater basketball.
Well,
come on.
And one thing too is they're very racially motivated. Now, oh my God, he said racially motivated. They are. They're not. And if you give money to an organization that uses a race's name in it that identifies a particular single race, that's racially motivated. If you say it's for the white kids of North Columbus, that's racially motivated. If you say it's for the African American kids of Columbus, it's racially motivated. If you say it's for the kids of Columbus, it's not racially motivated. 1 + 1 = 2.
You know what Columbus needs? you really know what Columbus needs.
Oh my
We
God.
need in the rec center, in the rec sports. You know what lacrosse?
What do we need?
Lacrosse.
Oh, okay.
Lacrosse is missing from Columbus. Okay, they got it over in Auburn. All right, you've got the Columbus State team over here. We need lacrosse in the high schools in the springtime. I'm telling you, fastest game on foot, Indian game from back in the day, Last of the Mohicans. You can watch that. What better game where you got ball handling skills, running at a sprint, and getting to whack the other player with a stick? Now, come on now. It doesn't get any better than that. We're losing hockey. We need lacrosse. So, anyway, that was just I'm just throwing that in there.
Well, you know, and I think that's it. But you know what? We definitely need some. You know, it's interesting. People have to understand how much things have changed in this community. And I'm not just saying for the bad. I'm talking about for the good too. But you know,
there's been a lot of good stuff.
Sure.
You know,
we've had a lot of good stuff. Let me tell you something. We've grown, but you know, we have to tender that with that growth. That we have to realize that sometimes if we grow too fast or we go too much, it can be and what bothers me too is when I hear, you know, it's just like with the mayor's position. I hear people talk about, and I've heard some people say exactly what I'm about to say right now. They sit there and they make statements like, I'm trying to find out, you know, do we have anybody that's absolutely committed for mayor? And you know, and I hear people say like, well, I guarantee you, we're going to have a person of color that's going to run. You know, I don't care what their color is. I want to know what their qualifications are. I'll vote for a black person, a white person, an Indian, a Hispanic, multiracial, whatever you call it. I don't care what color they are. I want to know what their qualifications are. And if you're telling me their qualifications are their race, that ain't going to get it with
Colonel West. When was that? When did Colonel West come to town? About 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago.
He spoke here in Columbus, I think out at the country club, and I was lucky enough to go. And that was an African American man that got into the military and served his military, decorated veteran. Then he got out, and I believe he served in Congress for the state of Florida. And I think, you know, he should have been given a cabinet post under Trump, but for some reason he didn't get one. But you were talking about people of color. I would vote for that man, whatever office if he came to Columbus and ran for mayor, I would vote for him. That man was articulate. He was intelligent. He had a conservative viewpoint, you know, and he doesn't talk the political talk like all these other people talk. You know, that you can't get an answer from somebody. You ask him a direct question, you'll get a direct answer back, and you can go online and look up Colonel West and hear some of his views. He's on some of the news channels and stuff that put him on. But that's we need real people to run for office again. We don't need career politicians.
All right, man. Let's do a famous left gear change here for a second and ask somebody here. I read in the paper today that the Department of Defense now has put a 6 months moratorium. Keep talking for just a second here.
Okay.
I gotta gain this.
Well, is there anything? And let me go back as Joe is bouncing up and down on that spring.
Hey, there.
All right, Joe is free of the table. Joe has left the table. People ask us, you know, why are we doing this show and stuff, and you know, obviously we're not getting paid to do it.
That would be great. That would be good for you.
We want a place where people can come and talk about stuff, and it grew out of the watch page. And we had these people telling us, oh, you can't talk about this, and you can't talk about that. And obviously I've had people tell me, ooh, you better watch about what you're talking about, you know, or the boogeyman's going to come and get you. Well, you know what? Here I am online now, okay?
Yeah, your office.
I'm right here. Come get me.
All right, let me know. Okay.
But we want a network of people that can talk about stuff, and it doesn't matter if it's on the Columbus side or the Alabama side, you know, if you're over in Auburn, Opelika, if you're down at Fort Mitchell, you know, we are growing every day on the watch page, and we have taken it to social media here live. You know, we have taken it live, and it's a place where if you've got an issue or something, you can come on live. If you don't want to come on live, we'll talk about it for you on live. Just give us the facts, give us the truth, and we'll start busting it open. You know, nobody's going to keep us from talking about anything. All right, nobody was elected. Nobody's got the juice. Nobody's got the power. They might think they do, but I got sad news for you. Okay, we got the freedom of speech. Okay,
Absolutely. Sorry, but I have a little nothing really serious, but I have a little family member with a little medical issue going on. With my mom.
I hope everything's doing good.
It was. I saw her number and I got kind of panicky for just a second. What I was going to bring up is that the Department of Defense has put a 6-month moratorium on. I'm trying to understand this on allowing recruits that are transgender to come into the military. Getting into that for a second. First of all, people. There is no such thing as transgender. That is a not real word on that. We've had Dr. Curtis Clark, which we will have as always on the show of the week. We've had other people coming up. I'm not making a judgment. I'm not making a morality statement. I can make those, and I will make those others. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You cannot change your gender. It's impossible. You cannot change. You can camouflage it. You can put. You can make it. You get Hollywood special effects people to make you look like Tootsie, Dustin Hoffman and Tootsie. You can make yourself look like a man, a woman, but you will always be what you were born with as your DNA. You cannot change it. It is impossible. If you were born a man with male DNA, you will stay a male with DNA until you die. Yeah. So, I'm offended by the word transgender because it's like, saying that, our fighter jets can go to transwarp right now. That's a Star Trek, it's fiction. There's no such thing.
The bottom line is, the Army, people have said in the past that the Army, it's a social experiment. Well, the Army is not. The military is not there to. We're there. The military is there to defend the country. It's not there to be a social experiment. And this transgender thing does not need to come to the military to be decided and stuff. If you're confused as to what you were born or what you want to be, you will not have the time when you come into the military to figure that out, because there's a lot of other stuff that you got to figure out. Like, can I get myself in shape? Can I adjust to the military way of life? Can I take orders? Can I go up a hill and do some stuff? But the drill sergeants don't have time to figure this thing out, and it's something that either our state governments should figure out or our national government should figure out. But it should not be up to the United States military to figure out what your gender is and how, what your place in society is. And, the last thing as a leader, when you have to go up against some tanks or take a hill or take an airport down and then subjecting these people into the military environment, working with other people, when you have to have attention to detail, and they don't have time for this stuff. They don't have time to fool with this stuff, And these people that are wanting us to pay for their gender reassignment surgery or whatever the hell you call it, it's ridiculous. Our military has bigger things to worry about, defending this country and being the best military in the world than trying to figure out your gender and your sex and what your role in the defense of this country is. Figure out what your problems are and then come join the military. But and if that sounds cruel, well,
here's your thoughts.
It's not a game. Being in the military is not a game. It's serious business, and if you don't have your mind on what you're doing, people get killed. So I don't have any sympathy for that. I think there's a lot of people looking for attention. Well, look, we wanted to take a second, just a second or two. I had a couple people here that wanted to come in, and they wanted to tell you what the 4th of July kind of meant to them and stuff. And they've been putting up with me here today. And come on in.
I think we have some young guests here.
Come around here and
Come around here, stand right here in the middle.
don't knock the wire out, or we won't be on
Okay.
sound anymore.
There we go. All right. And,
So these
and who are these fine young men?
these are
I'm Zach and he's Wade.
he's Zach and he's Wade. And who are you?
Really?
Really, yes.
That's
Who are
right.
you really? You're telling everybody
Zach
out
and
there.
Wade Woodson, the Woodson boys,
This is the little Woodson gang.
the Woodson gang, and I
So-
think they have a special message for us.
Well, they wanted to come in and just say a word about what the 4th of July means to them.
Okay, let me do that right there for you a little bit closer and talk right into there.
It's all about Independence Day and how the people our freedom of our country and the people who died for us.
Celebrating the people that gave their lives so that we have a country.
Yes.
Yeah, that's part of it. Anything you want to say back there, number one?
The same thing.
Speak up.
The same thing. It means that when on the Generosity War, that the people fought just for this country to be free.
Yeah, that's part of it. So you changed your mind a little bit. It's not all about the fireworks.
No.
No.
Okay. Y'all want to say hi to your mom?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Okay. All righty. Well, thanks.
All right, and did your brother want to say anything?
I think he did.
He did say a little bit on there.
It's amazing that I could get him off his iPad and his Xbox.
Do you guys like to sing?
Yeah.
You do? Or you want to sing? You want to sing something? You want to sing "God Bless America"? For everybody out there?
I can't sing.
I'll start it for you. Will y'all sing it with me if I start it?
I don't know it. I don't like singing.
Oh, that. How about this? God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her
Your lips are not
through
moving.
the night with the light of love. From the mountains to the prairies, from the ocean bright with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Now, why don't we do our Pledge of Allegiance? Can we do that? Put our hand over our heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys. Happy 4th of July.
Yay.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, can either one of you tell me how old America is today? See if you can figure that out. How old are we today?
140 something.
Nope. No. Does anybody know?
2.
Does Dad know?
No, I don't know either.
Okay. All right.
102. 102?
No.
200
200.
200?
and something.
200 and
Oh, like 240 some years old, maybe 30. I think because we did some during for Veterans Day. Like 200, like 30 or 40 some years old.
Well, you're on the trail. I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys go out there and try to figure it out? And if you get an answer, you come back in and maybe we can get you a prize or something.
Hey, if there's anybody out there that can call in and tell
call
us
in.
exactly how old the country is,
Call in. I'll tell you what.
we got a T-shirt for you.
That's right. We've got a T-shirt with you with an American flag on it. That's right. We do, right? Don't we miss that? We got American flag T-shirt.
We sure do.
And look here we go. We got a T-shirt. Let's show you this T-shirt right here
Is it
with this
245?
American flag on the back of it.
Well, we do,
All
but
right.
This is a shirt.
I think this one's kind of small for.
Well, we've got some other sizes. We have some other sizes.
We have all sizes.
We have
up
all
to
sizes.
2X.
So
We're up
that's,
to 2X. 706-940-0541. Show them that shirt.
Wait a minute. Heather says, great boys, very respectful, and those are the kind we need in this world.
Absolutely. And did you show
Miss
it?
Heather, they're available every night this week if you're available to take. No,
Let
I'm
me
just kidding.
let me check it out here. I'm going to tell everybody what it says.
I'm caught up.
Did everybody see what
It is
that is?
pretty
on
neat
that?
T-shirt,
It is.
though.
It says on there. It says on the back, Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battles. That's the 144, first Psalm. And up here it says, Hometown Guardians, right there on the front with the American flag on the back right there. That's for you. And if you call in, 706-940-0541. You know what? I'm going to give you a large pizza also for free. If you call from Willie Good Pizza and More. If you call 706-940-0541. I'm only going to give you a t-shirt. I'm going to give you a free pizza of your choice from Willie Good Pizza and More. That's
that
right.
t-shirt also is a the blue t-shirt because it has the blue strip in the American flag.
I'm waiting for that phone to start ringing out there. And you know, remember, if you call again, you're not going to be talking on the radio. You're going to be talking to Miss Pat. So it's not going to be like, are they listening? Can they hear me? They can't hear you. Know, and Miss Pat will talk to you privately, and you can give your name and address. And I won't say like it was Stacy. Let me tell you something, Stacy, darling. If you call Miss Pat, I'll give you. On top of that one, I'll give you.
I got my spies out there. I think Stacy is probably at the pool. Probably at the pool.
Well, Miss Stacy, if you're listening to us and you're out there at the pool, you give us a call at 706-940-0541, and I'm going to give you 2 T-shirts.
She's probably out
different
there,
ones,
yeah.
And I'm going to give you a pizza.
Yeah, she's probably out there with Julie at the pool somewhere over there in Phoenix City, and she's afraid to call because the phone will fall in the pool. Or something.
They're pretty cool people.
Well, look, I don't. How much longer we got?
We got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, so we'll just put this out there. We're gonna be doing this every Tuesday, or we might do some.
Today's just an exception.
This is an exception, yeah. And we're going to branch out. We may do it a couple times a week.
Yeah, we figured that most people would be really busy with barbecuing and fishing and doing whatever they do on the 4th of July, and we just decided that we'd do the show today. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing it, and tell people about the show. Tell people about the watch page. Add those local friends and family and stuff. And
we want to be your voice too. We want to be your voice. We're not afraid. We'll call the city officials. We'll get them up. We'll call them from here. We
want some of the questions answered that doesn't get answered in the normal media. If you want to call them news conferences where the questions don't get asked.
That's right.
Or the what I call the daily press releases that come out and they just make a statement and nobody ever goes back and asks the questions about that you want to know about the who, what, when, and why, how this happened. People have a right to know.
You do have a right to know, and you know what? And also too, let me let you know this: if you have those questions and concerns, you don't have to write it on the comment thing. Call Miss Pat at 706-940-0541. We will keep your name confidential. We will keep and ask us the questions that you want us to ask. Give us the things you want us to find out, and we will do it. And we will not point the finger or say we heard it from this person or this person asked it. We can keep you completely confidential.
Hey, Don, we're not trying to ignore you.
We're on a delay now. When you post something, we don't get it right away when it goes out.
It's 8 seconds before we get it.
Donna wanted to talk about crime in Columbus.
All right, Donna. Yeah, is she going to call? She wants to.
But right now, hang on. We've got Linda. Hey, Linda from Roswell, Georgia.
Roswell. Hey, Linda. Hope you're welcome. I hope everything's going to be good for you for 4th of July here down in the deep south of Georgia.
Roswell.
And
Linda, is that where they got the aliens at? Is that they got them up there? No, that's out.
I think Roswell is part of the giant undefined metropolis known as Metro Atlanta.
Hey, Donna, do you want to talk? What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about shootings? Do you want to talk about stores getting robbed?
Well, while we're talking about that, Don, while you decide that, I do want to say this is a non-paid endorsement, but we've got I know over here in Phoenix City and in Columbus and in Phoenix City, we've got a lot of great gun dealers. We've got John McMullen over at Shooters. We have Robbie Whitten over at Money Miser, also known as Northside Pawn Shop. They also have Money Miser over there in Phoenix City. We've got David Moore, D.L. Moore, Express Pawn on the Veterans Parkway. and a lot of other people go over and check out.
We got the flat out iron, iron arms, flat out iron. No, flat. I can't say
flat out shooting complex.
No, it's
Strong.
Donovan's talking about all the crime in Columbus.
I thought we were talking about.
That's it, Donna. You're right. It's gotten ridiculously out of control. One thing, a lot of people ask me. I've been, like I said, involved in law enforcement for quite a while. I've been here all my life. I was a police officer here for 13 years in the 80s and 90s. And people say, has it changed? And I'll tell you how it's changed. And I'll tell you a couple of ways. And I'm not, I'll tell you, I actually said this before council. And I was asked by Counselor Skip Henderson if I, do I think that is a misconception, or do I, what could I say to make them know if I think crime is bad in Columbus? And I said, and I'm being very serious right now. I'm looking at everybody right now, and I'm being very serious. How much I think crime has changed in Columbus? I think crime has changed so much in Columbus that not only, and of course I have a legal carry permit, not only where it is I'm legally licensed to do so, do I feel a necessity to carry a handgun with me all the time. But, and then when I said to council, I said, not only do I feel a necessity to carry it all the time, I also carry an extra magazine of ammunition. Now, what does that tell you? That sounds like a mean thing. Now, what that tells you is that as a law enforcement, the potentiality, I think, in Columbus of needing a firearm is so great that not only you might need a firearm, you might need to reload on that. So
there was a lady in South Columbus. I never did find out where it was, but a lady. It was the woman's daughter wrote us and told us that 1:30 in the morning, she was in the south side of Columbus. Her mom was in the house, half asleep or something, and 3 guys kicked in her door and came in, and she used a firearm to make them leave quickly. In other words, and she thinks she shot one of them possibly in the rear end, but because they never found a bullet hole in the wall or anything. But it was just another example of people realizing that it can happen to them. Absolutely. And it's like I always say, you're one of 2 people. Either it's happened to you or it's going to happen to you.
Donna, here's my 2 cents worth on this. And
I'll give her the whole nickel.
I hope you understand where I'm coming from. The world has changed so much. And I'm not just blaming this on the parents, but when you're bringing up your children, you got to bring up your children right. And sometimes nowadays people want more and more and more. They want the big nice house. They want 2 new cars. They want a swimming pool in their backyard. Both parents have to work. Some parents have to work 2 jobs just to make ends meet. But people have changed their thoughts on things, and they think it's more important to have a child, put the child in daycare, or have grandma watch it, or a neighbor watch it. And I just think that it has changed so much that the parents aren't there to tell their child how their child is supposed to act.
I agree with that, Pat, and I think that's very important. But I also think we have a lot of scumbags. I think that's what the problem is. I think our criminal justice system is overrun.
We don't know where to put them. You can't let the streets raise your kids. You can't let the TV, the Xbox, the PlayStation, videos, whatever. I think a lot of it comes back to.
I think we need to kick their butt. I think we need to quit mollygagging with these kids and they come before a judge and quit saying, don't do that. You should never do that. And we're going to put you on probation. And it's not the court's fault. Now, that sounds like I'm saying it is. It's the court. The problem with the court is, you know what? Hey, people, let's come in for Planet Reality. We've got a jail down there. We've got that can take 900 people. There's like 1,200 in there. We're under a federal court order to let people out right now, because we don't have the space. It's going to cost more money. We're going to have to build more jails. And you see, these politicians don't want to do this because it makes us look like we're a bad city. Well, we know what we are. We're not a bad city. We've got a crime rate. Let me tell you something. For every criminal in this town, there's 50 good people. Amen. And we have to come together, and we have to tell you, because I work in the court system, and I can tell you what the problem is. There's nowhere to put them. There's not enough officers on the street because they're not being paid. There's not enough court workers because we don't have enough money to support that. And what happens is it gets in the situation that I'm seeing every single week. Every single week, I'm seeing people that are brought up to recorder's court that were committed home invasions, and you know what? When they were arrested for home invasion, they were already out on bond for a previous home invasion.
Carol wants to know if we're still alive.
We are still alive.
We are live. Yeah, pinch joke.
Yep, he's alive.
But
He's alive.
Don,
That's it.
also, we have open jobs in the police force, and people don't want to be a police officer because if you are hearing what's going on around, the United States, police officers are getting shot and killed, and it's hard. They don't get paid enough to go out there and put their life on the line, just like our military.
Yeah. Well,
Our military puts their life on the line, and here we are having, football stars that are making millions of dollars a year.
until people are held accountable, everybody makes a mistake. I am not in favor. Let me tell you something. There are people that make mistakes, that commit crimes, that do their time or do what they're supposed to do, and then they move on with their life, and they're good people. That happens. Not everybody's perfect. Lots of us it happens to. We've all had family members that's happened to. I'm not saying that we just go out and cut somebody's head off, but I'm saying when we get these professional career criminals that have been in the system 9, 10 times, I don't care about where they were raised. I don't care that their mommy didn't nurture them enough. You know what? I want their little hiney kicked to the wall and put in a cage and said, you do this, you're going to be punished.
Yeah.
Period.
Carol, nobody's called in for the pizza now. It's still up for grabs, and
That's right.
If nobody calls in, me and Joe are going to eat it.
That's it. And the T-shirt. Where's that T-shirt? I'm showing everybody again.
It's over here.
On that. Hey, it's the forest. And look, and like I said, we've got small all the way up to like triple X.
And Donna, what's really funny is we were just talking about those roundabouts earlier, and you're right. Stop having roundabouts.
On that, yeah. On that. So we need to.
Huh?
Okay. All right.
Steal my Gatorade. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, steal it.
Again, get your soda 6. Now you're talking. Keep that going. Absolutely, Alan. Absolutely. This is it. We have had enough. That's why that Obama idiot was pushed out. Here we go.
I bet you that.
We'll stay on this. On that. Remember, this Pat, what we'll have to do is when you get them on, put them on speaker. Ask them if we can put them on speaker, and then put them on speaker.
Yeah, we want to find out Carol
This is the
is
Valley Watch.
real. Carol, you real?
On that. That's why Obama got that idiot and everything to do with him because people had enough, and we've had enough.
Somebody got online
Have you had enough?
I don't know. Hang on.
earlier in the week and
Ask
said
them,
that
would you like to
they
go
thought
on?
that I was really somebody named George Perry.
Not really.
What's that, Miss Pat?
Hang on just a minute.
I'm not-
Donna.
People in
Carol,
town, I'm not George Perry.
Wanted to know, is the answer 241?
That sounds right to me, Carol.
That sounds right. You're a winner.
She's a winner. All right, and tell her
You're
that she
welcome.
get her full name and tell her that we will leave at Willie Good Pizza with a red shirt with her name on there, or she can come by here for a large pizza any way she wants it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give. I tell you what, if she can come by here, we'll give her a coupon and we'll give her a T-shirt too.
Yeah. But Carol, you have to share it with me and Stacy.
You can come by here.
Because,
Or we can notify Willie Good Pizza. We'll
We
leave it
can
there.
tell Willie Good Pizza to give you a large pizza.
make sure that Carol knows where Really Good Pizza is.
Willie Good Pizza, 7042 Moon Road, right down the road from us.
Yeah.
72 Moon Road, right there. You know Moon Road where North Highland. Somebody kind of looks down, and you can see that little strip mall right there where the CVS is. Well, CVS is on one end, and Willie Good Pizza More is on the other end. And now we have a new soft dip ice cream machine, owned and operated by our ministry.
Wednesday from
I already said that.
11 to 9.
11 to 9 on Wednesday.
Well, anyway, we're winding this show up for this week. Like I said, spread the word, spread the page, tell people about the show every Tuesday, and if we get a lot of people that want more, we can always do one on Wednesday maybe or Thursday.
And we have the capability. We may do one from the steps of the courthouse.
So
Yeah, like in August,
Yeah,
maybe like
yeah.
over from the Russell County
We
courthouse
can
or
do
something.
it from the courthouse. We'll go get our permit. They have to give us one, and we'll sit there and do the show right from
We've
there.
even thought about maybe a campaign about help Kenny find the courtroom. You know, but
I
hey,
like that. We can.
Yeah.
That could be a bumper sticker.
yeah, help Kenny find the courtroom.
Help Kenny find the courtroom.
But,
Yeah, sometimes I think you
either
forgot
way.
where it is on that. I hope everybody has a happy 4th of July out there.
A safe one, too.
Safe one.
Safe
Please be safe. Think about our veterans. Think about our people with PTSD. Think about your neighbors. Be considerate. That's all people are asking. They're not saying take them away and go out and blow stuff up to your heart's content out there, but do it in a safe place in a safe manner on that, and that's all that we ask on there. I want to thank Eric Woodson from the Watch, all the almost 15,000 members of the Watch. Y'all do a great job out there. Eric, you do a great job. You are an icon for the Chattahoochee Valley. That's and I have personally spoken with numerous members of the marshal, the sheriff, the police chief, and other law enforcement agencies have said that the Watch has been significant in helping assist in the apprehension and crime. You know what? Let me tell you something. We need to. It's like the Robert De Niro and the parents. We need to let the criminals know that we're watching you. We're watching you on that. Watch a report. Don't go up and do anything yourself. Call the police. And remember, the police are out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never hesitate. One of the biggest things when I was a law enforcement officer, I'm trying to get people to understand, is that it's not an emergency. You don't have to call 911. Yes, when you call 911, they'll say, this is 911, what is your emergency? It's okay. You don't have to have, per se, emergency. If you look out at your window and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's a suspicious person walking around, that's an emergency. You can call 911. They're not going to say, well, you can't call us with that. And you can also say, I don't want an officer to come on my house. I just want an officer to come down here and drive around and check that person out. And they will do it.
I would like everyone to know that Carol just won a T-shirt and a large pizza any way she wants it.
All right.
For calling in.
From Willie Good Pizza and More, 7042 Loon Road. And on that, so with that last statement, Eric, I guess we're going to say so long for the day.
Yep, we're going to go.
We're going to, one thing you and I are going to be checking out on another YouTube site. We've got some new cool products we're going to be checking out here.
Yep.
On that, right? That's right. For you people that.
One other thing. There were some posts and stuff. Just want to put this out real quick. There was some posts and stuff about reference the lady that shot the gun. There was a bunch of ladies and stuff talking about the different places you can get firearms training and stuff. If there are ladies, and I know that it's hot today, it was hot yesterday, nobody wants to stand out in the sun and learn how to shoot. But towards the end of August into September, when it starts cooling down a little bit, maybe in the evenings or something, I can do the firearms training. I'm an NRA certified instructor in just about all the forms of shooting. Had that certification for a long time, retired veteran. So I do know what I'm talking about. I do know what the front sight's for. I do know about trigger control, breathing, your stance, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about it forever. And I don't teach the politically correct stuff, okay? If you want to learn how to protect yourself, we'll talk about how to protect yourself. If you want to learn how to shoot using the fundamentals and shooting accurately, we can do that too. If you've never touched a gun before, we can start with the basics, go as far as you want to go. And I'm not pushing this on anybody. If you're not interested, you're not interested. Go to shooters and buy their ammo and rent their guns and pay for their range time and all that stuff. My prices are very fair. You're paying for my time, my experience. If there's someplace else you want to go that offers free, or if you can find the free stuff totally free that you can, go to, then by all means, go do the free stuff. But I do one-on-one training, I do small group training, and I've got a career of teaching and instructing. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
And we appreciate it. And,
Thank you,
do you have a number that you want to give them or a contact?
Just
go to your
contact
website?
me through the watch page. If
the watch page?
Send me a PM or something like that. I would put my my phone number out there, but I'm already getting enough crazy calls from the government telling me my credit card interest rates have been reduced, and now is the time to act. That I can't stand it anymore. So
Wow, you can get on the phone
and
with that.
AARP is calling me to tell me now's the time to join.
And,
Heather says, you guys are awesome.
Thank
So
you,
keep
Heather.
up the good work. Thank
all
you
right,
very
thank
much.
you. God bless America. God bless you. God bless our country. May it live long and prosper, as Spock would say on that. Have a great day, and thank you, Eric. Take care. All right, God bless. Miss Pat, take us out.
Y'all take care.
Take care.
Safe.
Bye-bye.
Oh, look, I got all 5 fingers.
Oh, there you go. Can you do this? Like, can you do this? All right, how about this? Can you do this?
No,
We
I
are
can't.
out.
That's
There's someone walking up to the front door.
okay.
And I don't see any cars around.
Who would be walking up to the front door?
I don't know. We've got